Jim Harbaugh is making his official debut as the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers. They're going to be taking on the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Chargers are currently a 3-point favorite heading into this matchup. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I can't wait for the Chargers to kick the Raiders' ass, man. The Raiders fan base has been the most annoying and the most delusional fan base that I've seen on this platform. And I'm not speaking for the entire Raiders fan base, but a good amount of Raiders fans truthfully believe with a lot of confidence that they're going to win 9-10 games this year. I don't see that happening. And with how badly the Chargers are going to beat these boys this week, Raider Nation is about to get a quick reality check of what they're going to be in store for this season. This is not the same Chargers team that you played against on Thursday night when you got Brandon Staley fired and they had Easton Stick at quarterback. Jim Harbaugh is a proven winner as a head coach. This is the best coach that the Chargers have ever hired in over the last 2-3 decades. Jim Harbaugh, his first 3 years as the head coach for the 49ers, he led them to 3 straight conference championship games and the Super Bowl appearance during that span. The Chargers are going to be a better coach team, and they're going to be a more disciplined and a more physical team than what you've seen in years past. You need to stop comparing the Chargers to previous iterations that you've seen always be overhyped in the offseason because they haven't had a coach as good as what Jim Harbaugh is. Jim Harbaugh is an elite coach. He's one of the best football coaches of the past decade in terms of what he's done at the NFL level and what he's done collegiately. His method of winning works everywhere he goes. There's no reason why it's not going to work this season with the Chargers and they miss out on the playoffs. The talent is still there. You can't judge a team strictly based off talent. You have to also judge them based off coaching. And this coaching staff that he has assembled, Greg Roman as his offensive coordinator, everywhere Greg Roman has been, he's always produced some of the NFL's elite rushing attacks. They're going to be able to play complementary football. That offensive line is improved from what it was last year. And you got a pretty good group of running backs in J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. And it doesn't matter if those guys aren't big household names, because if you look at the history of Greg Roman's offenses, he elevates whoever he has at running back. If you plug a random running back off the street into Greg Roman's offense, they can produce at a high level because of how advanced his run blocking schemes are and how effective he is at utilizing his running backs. Jesse Minter is the Chargers' new defensive coordinator. You're not about to recognize the defense that you see the Chargers have this year due to how badly they've underperformed years past under Brandon Staley. Jesse Minter at Michigan, his 2 years there, they had the number 1 and number 2 ranked defense in yards per game and points per game consecutively in 2022 and 2023. There's enough talent on that defensive line with the healthy Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa to harass Gardner Minshew at quarterback. The Raiders' strategy this year is to run the football at will and rely on their elite defense to win games. They pretty much are the great value brand version of what the Steelers are. The problem with that is there's only one Mike Tomlin. Antonio Pierce is nothing close to Mike Tomlin. And what Raiders fans want to ignore is that the majority of Antonio Pierce's wins last year came against backup quarterbacks. The only win they had against a team with the above 500 record was when they got that Christmas miracle against Kansas City. And that's what it was, a freaking Christmas miracle. How often do you see a team win a game not completing a single pass outside of the first quarter? That's something that doesn't happen that often. You're not going to beat the Chargers if you don't have good quarterback play. Justin Herbert is an elite quarterback, and you pair him up with an elite head coach in Jim Harbaugh, you got to make sure that you have the same. Their defense can keep them around in this game. I'm not going to make it seem like the Los Angeles Chargers are some juggernauts. And the Raiders also do have a pretty good secondary. I love Jack Jones. I love Nate Hobbs. And you definitely love what they have on the defensive line with the addition of Christian Wilkins. And you're pairing him alongside with Max Crosby. But with the Chargers being stout up front and this team being built around physicality, the Raiders are going to have to ask Gardner Minshew to make some big plays downfield. And with this only being a 3-point spread that the Chargers are favored to win by, Vegas expects this to be a one-possession game. And when you're in close games, most of the times, the teams that pull off the wins are the ones that have the better quarterback, because those are the ones who tend to be more reliable in these late-game situations. Gardner Minshew is not a reliable quarterback when you're in a one-possession game with 4 minutes left to go, because he takes too much risk. He's a risk taker, which is why he won this starting job over Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell, the big knock on him was that he was too conservative. Yes, he takes care of the football, but he doesn't take enough chances downfield. With Gardner Minshew, the Raiders' offense is more explosive than what it was last year. But the downside of that is, with the aggressive tendencies that Gardner Minshew tends to play with, I mean, every game you watch of Gardner Minshew, a receiver always gets messed up because he throws a lot of hospital balls. You remember last year when he got Michael Pittman's head taken off by DeMonte Casey against the Pittsburgh Steelers? You saw a lot of those throws in the preseason. And going up against an elite defense like the Chargers, Gardner Minshew can't be trusted to win a close possession game. The Raiders want to pound the rock at will against you and rely on their great defense and ask Gardner Minshew to do bare minimum, but it's hard to win that way when the opposing team's quarterback on the opposite sideline is a top 10 player at his position. The Raiders are going to need Gardner Minshew to make big throws late in this game and to take care of the football if they want to pull off the win, and I don't see that happening. The Chargers are going to stomp the Raiders this week. Give me LA 27-14 is my final score prediction. I don't see the Raiders having that much success offensively in this game with how improved Jesse Minter is going to have this Chargers defense playing. And the Raiders are not going to be able to play the brand of football they want to, because the Chargers are going to stack the box and force them to win with Gardner Minshew throwing the football. And although Gardner Minshew is capable of having a couple of big plays, we also know that he's capable of producing turnovers as well. You can trust the Chargers to play mistake-free football. You know Justin Herbert can be trusted with the ball in his hands late in the game. You can trust him to elevate and carry the Chargers to a win if he has to. You can't say the same for the Raiders. This is a team that is only based off what they can do running the football. And if you take that away from them, you make them one-dimensional, that's the game plan to beating them. That's why I'm going to take the Chargers to win.